That may seem like a high number. It's not, especially the way it ended. First year starting a QBR of 108. By the way, Calzada's got a 106, I think, at the moment. But he threw for 1,300 yards. He was a first year in his at A&M. Far from a finished product, but by the end of it, he was very safe. He put up some very efficient numbers. A&M's going to have to figure something out offensively. Now, there are reasons to point at, like the shuffling of the offensive line. You got guys, Kenyon Green. How many different positions has he played this year, right? It's just players are out. Starters are out. Offensive linemen are out. Wide receivers are out. People are out. The inexperienced play is hurting you here in the SEC, and we've seen it in Power 5 play against Colorado as well. But I will say, and I've said this on the Luchador podcast yesterday, at least they brought it after the 3 scores down. That's not something that I'm excited about, but that game could have gone way more south than it did. It is TexAgs Radio. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We're here in the Rollo Insurance Studio, and a little disappointed, a little bit out of it. We start the Go Hour with Olin Buchanan, our Heisman Trophy voter. OB, there's a vibe around this program right now, and I think the reason for it feeling as bad, because we saw what we saw. There was no offensive production, but knowing where this program was a few months ago to how it feels at the moment, it's a pretty steep fall. Just one loss, by the way, but it's still a pretty steep fall.
Well, when you've scored 20 points against 2 Power 5 opponents, there's a reason to be frustrated and concerned, and I think you're seeing the frustration. They won't ever say it, but I think you're seeing it with body language and then even with play among other players on the offense. You mentioned the problems with the offensive line. There are some issues, but they're also, I think they're getting, they might have gotten blamed for a sack or two that not necessarily was their fault. I mean, you can only hold the ball so long. I think the biggest issue with A&M, besides, maybe there's a talent problem.
Yep.
Or just a not ready problem, but is there's just too much indecision on offense. And I think that's a big part. I think I watched Zach Calzada, and sometimes I'd say, we'd see an open receiver or an opportunity to run, and the hesitancy to make a decision really, really hurt them.
Arkansas came out ready to play. A&M did not. And to me, that is inexcusable. With an 11-game win streak, 9 against this team, to not be ready. Now, does that mean that maybe not ready is not the right word, but they didn't bring it from the first snap?
I think Billy put it best. He said for Arkansas, it was personal.
Yeah.
And for A&M, it was like, wait. Oh, you guys are taking this much too seriously. Okay, I guess we're going to have to as well. But it was 16 minutes into the game, and you were down 17-0 before they started matching that intensity.
There's a lot of things you can point at and say, had they done this, they weren't the better team.
Nope.
They weren't. And if you want to talk about the play on the interception, the targeting, or whatever you want to call it on that play, I don't think A&M can score at the way we have seen them. They can't score 17 points right now. Things have to change. People have got to get healthy, and decisions have to be made by the quarterback. And if a split second determines if a wide receiver is open or not, 3 seconds longer with the ball, everything collapses. The line has struggled. There's no doubt about it. But you've got to protect the line a little bit, too, by making some quicker decisions. There's a lot of issues out there. So, OB, as we try to do on Mondays, by the way, you can text the A&B text line, 979-693-1150, or you can call the BCSI hotline, 979-693-1150. Let's talk about the turning point in the game. Because I think you can point at the interception and say, that's the turning point.
That's the easy one.
Right? And it hit Bryce Foster's head. You have a chance to tie the game. That is the easy one to point at, but I think the turning point was before that, and I'm going to say it was on the A.J. Green touchdown to make it 17-0.
Oh, boy, what an ugly play that was.
And the reason for me is, 3 scores on any SEC opponent, I don't want to say it's insurmountable, but the way this offense was running, yes, insurmountable. But that's when I realized this team doesn't have it today. The defense had given up, 300 yards in the first half? Mm-hmm. This amazing defense, which, by the way, played great after the first, 16, 17 minutes that we decided
Well, they scored that touchdown. There was 13:55 left, so basically 16 minutes.
Yep. So you give up 17 points to any SEC opponent, outside of Vanderbilt maybe, you're probably not coming back. To me, that's on that play where you see 3 guys miss a tackle.
Half-hearted attempts.
Yes. That, to me, was the turning point. You're down 17-0. Your defense at that point, your calling card feels like it's getting gashed. At that point, that was the turning point for me. Let's just say you make a tackle there, and let's just say somehow you force them to a field goal. The mindset of being down 13-0 or 10-0, by the way, if you can stop them, is so different. I still don't think they could score 17 points, but it's just the game is played differently, and they adjusted after that point. To me, that was a turning point.
Yeah, I don't want to see my inside linebacker pushing the ball carrier toward the end zone.
No.
I mean, that was disgraceful. And, you don't want to be too mean. Sometimes you got to call people out. Be physical. Make a tackle.
When are they going to watch film? They do that probably at some point today, right? Or maybe they did yesterday. I don't know when they do it.
But, yeah, that's going to – okay, for me, the turning point, and you've got a great point there. But to me, I'm going to go to the series before the interception.
Okay.
And, A&M's looking at a 1st and 10. They'd had consecutive 8-yard gains. They got a 1st and 10 at the 34. They've got the momentum because they just scored on Isaiah Spiller's long run and got a 3-and-out. So you've got the momentum, and you're starting to think, is this going to be another one of these A&M-Arkansas games where, for whatever reason, A&M's either gotten behind or not played well, and they're going to find a way to pull it out like they have so many times? And then you get another 8-yard completion, so it would have been the 3rd straight one. But Calzada held the ball and held the ball and held the ball and couldn't make a decision whether he was going to run or pass. And then he finally passes to Aniyah Smith for an 8-yard completion. But he held it so long that your linemen don't know what he's going to do.
Yes.
Your lineman's like, is he going to run? So you get, I think it was Reuben Fothery gets an illegal receiver downfield.
Right.
Well, I'm not putting that on Fothery. At some point, the offensive line gets stuck in no man's land. They got to do something. They don't know what he's going to do. So now you not only do you lose that play, but now you're behind the chains with this offense. And then the next play after that, you'll remember probably the ugliest play of the game. Calzada can't decide what he wants to do. He starts backing up, and he trips over his own feet. Yeah. Remember that for a 10-yard loss?
Oh, my, why are you reminding me? This hurts.
And so to me, the turning point was the indecision that resulted in a illegal receiver downfield penalty because you had all this momentum, but you get behind the chains, and then it falls apart.
Grinder says on the A&B text line, no moral victories, please. No, there's no moral victory.
Who's claiming a moral victory?
Nobody. The one thing that maybe because I said I'm glad they made it a game after they were down 17-0, because at the end of the day, losing 20-10 sure feels better than whatever Texas lost by.
Yeah, I guess you got that right.
At the end of the day, you were in that game in the fourth quarter, but pathetic. It was a bad performance for at least offensively, pretty much the entire game. Let's go around and say hello. Let's go to the News and Social Center because I'm a little angry. And I was actually kind of yesterday. I had I was upset, and then I did Luchador. I got upset. I mean, I was happy. Then I did Luchador. Got upset again. There's certain memories I don't want to remember, but gosh dog it, we're gonna do it. I guess I should probably say what the topic is. OBU, I didn't want to grade the team because we're going to get a lot of Fs, right? I mean, that's just how, when teams lose, especially the way A&M lost. So I did, in honor of your column, I wanted to hear from people. What did you learn? What did you love? What do you loathe after A&M's loss to Arkansas? So with that, we go to Anna Rosa Peterson at the News and Social Center.
Good morning. Yeah, I tried to help set the mood with some comfort food this morning, so hopefully that
Thank you.
that heals our broken hearts.
It was very good banana bread. Very good.
Yeah. I just had a weird mood last night and figured this could help. So hopefully the banana bread will heal our pain. But yes, Jackson in Southlake, Texas responds to our topic. He says, learned. We have a lot of growing up to do. Arkansas wanted this game badly, and it showed. After the Hogs' emotions wore off, our talent started to slowly creep back in the game, but just like raw talent and raw emotion are not enough to win a game. At some point in time, youth transforms into experience, and this team needs to undergo that metamorphosis as soon as possible. He loved our team's fight. Many teams would have crumbled going down 17-0. Someone's team almost certainly would have. The defense finally woke up and played a solid second half. Spiller tried to put the team on his back with his touchdown run, and then he loathed our fan base's response to this game. The battered Aggie syndrome I'm seeing is honestly pathetic. Some of the greatest lessons are learned from defeat. This team still has a lot to play for. Want to know what Bama did after they lost to us in 2012? They went on ahead and won it all anyways. Our fans need to take a lesson from Jimbo and grow up.
Yeah. Yes. They did do that, but this team's a long ways away from that. You've got to score more than 10 points.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to. Here's a big part of my frustration. I don't remember how often they did a 3-man front, how often they put 8 in the back. I don't remember. Okay, I just know there was a lot of mismatching and a lot of confusion going on from what Barry Odom was doing defensively. But in my opinion, if they're taking everything away, then that's the freaking Chicago Bears 85 defense. Did they take everything away? With 3 men, were they able to put that much pressure on Calzada that he had to, held the ball and was taken down or taken out of plays? With 3 men, can you not run the ball? So they couldn't run the ball effectively. They couldn't pass behind the line of scrimmage to get the ball to A-Chain to do something effectively, and they couldn't throw downfield. So they took every element of the game out for the most part. So we're playing Mike Singletary and the fridge, Steve McMichael. Who else? Well, he was
Dan Hampton.
Dan Hampton, thank you.
Yeah.
That's who they're playing against. Mike Ditka was out there helping.
Richard Dent.
Oh, I love Richard Dent.
Dewerson.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Do you know the Super Bowl Shuffle song?
I don't.
Oh, I think that's my next brilliant YouTube idea. OB singing the Super Bowl Shuffle. I'll get you the words. We can karaoke. No?
No, that would be worse than the A&M's offensive performance.
Well, that would be pretty bad, then.
That would be pretty bad.
Pretty bad. So I guess that's my point. Everything was taken out for the most part. The one thing that worked was Isaiah Spiller. Thank you.
Yeah, Jimbo says they're going to take what the defense gives them. Why is the defense giving them that? They had a great, it was almost like the same or very similar strategy that A&M used last year against Mississippi State. I'm going to rush 3, drop everybody back, make you throw underneath us, and as soon as you look like you're throwing, we're converging. And, I think it's very telling that Arkansas was called for 2 pass interference penalties, and on those 2 penalties, A&M gained 3 yards and 2 yards. So, and they never even challenged Arkansas deep. I thought it'd be a great idea. Now, I'm not a great offensive mind. I've never won a national championship, so, what do I know? But I thought it'd been a great idea to try to figure out a way to get Demas one-on-one and just run a go route, not where you have to read the defense or anybody. Just throw it out there. If it's incomplete, at least Arkansas's thinking, hey, they may try to throw deep on us. It gives us something to think about. Maybe they adjust something, but they were all over the swing passes.
They were.
And there's a thought that Jerry Schmidt likes to say, and it makes me think about a little twist on that. Jerry Schmidt likes to say that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And I think that A&M had more talent, but intense play beats talent when talent isn't intense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of what we saw.
Yeah.
Especially early.
Unfortunately, you're right. When we come back here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Overreaction Monday. We're going to overreact. I know you guys are, and we're going to try to fix it all here on the program. And I'm also going to give you what I loved, what I learned. I'm putting it in the wrong order, and what I loathed. And there was a lot that I loathed. Next on TexAgs.
This is The Zone, Aggieland's all-sports station.
The association, because they support so many different things and they are involved, as a student, you feel like you have somebody in your corner.
We know that Alfredo's family has never seen him march live at Kyle Field. With the help of the Association of Former Students, we're going to end that today. Alfredo's family is here with us.
To the Association of Former Students, I don't know how much I can thank you enough for giving me hope that for anything that goes wrong, something good is going to happen out of it. Whatever they do for the school, it's always going to come out with a smile on someone else's face.
To learn more about the association's impact or to make a gift, visit tx.ag/giving.
You can hear the Paul Feinbaum Show weekdays 2 to 4 here on The Zone. Presented by Polaris Fund Center. Paul Feinbaum is SEC Country. And Aggieland is SEC Country too. Join Paul weekdays 2 to 4 here on The Zone. Polaris Fund Center, where you can get a $500 rebate on any 450 or 570 Model A TV. Or $2,000 cash back on a Polaris XP1000. Polaris Fund Center, where they sell and service fun, not tractors. The voice of the SEC. And you can hear Paul Feinbaum weekdays from 2 to 4 on The Zone.
People join Walk MS to raise awareness and funds that change the world for everyone affected by multiple sclerosis. MS attacks the brain and spinal cord. It's the most common neurological disease leading to disability in young adults. Walk MS brings communities together, creating teams with friends, loved ones, and coworkers to rally around those we care about and end MS forever. Join us. Together we are stronger. Walk MS fundraising accelerates research breakthroughs and life-changing breakthroughs. It will take all of our passion, determination, and fundraising to end MS forever. Together, we can change the world for people with MS. Join us. Register today, start a team, and raise funds at walkms.org.
You can hear Astros baseball all season and postseason long on Sports Radio 1150 and 93.7 FM plus Gospel 97.3 FM thanks to Kelly Burt Dozer. The Astros look to make another World Series run. You can hear the games on The Zone or on Gospel 97.3 FM thanks to Kelly Burt Dozer. The Houston Astros, the World Series. Listen in, all thanks to Kelly Burt Dozer.
I would just say honestly that we had self-inflicted wounds and there was nothing that they did better. You know, it was just execution-wise. You know, we have to get back to grabbing every little crumb throughout the game and just taking it, like, you know, tackling, all that stuff, just taking it a little bit more serious, a lot more serious actually, and just getting after it next week.
Yeah, self-inflicted wounds, not good. It is TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. And by the way, if you're in the market for an engagement ring, wedding band, or stackable anniversary ring, save the date for David Gardner's ring in season promotion. That is October the 13th through the 16th. David Gardner's will have an extended selection of diamonds, engagement rings, wedding bands, and more. Don't miss an opportunity to swing by while they have the largest selection of the year at the best prices. You can check out davidgardnersjewelers.com, click on the tab and engagement tab, and scroll all the way to the bottom. All right, we are here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Got some exciting Rollo news to present to you guys there in the 9 o'clock hour. We're looking forward to doing that. But now it's Overreaction Monday. And I feel like the whole weekend has felt like an overreaction, but maybe it's a sincere overreaction. There's a reason that we've seen some of these reasons for pessimism all the way back to the Kent State game. Yes, they were able to put up 30 points against teams that they should put up 30 points against. But that game showed us a little bit of issues with the line. The Colorado game absolutely showed us that. New Mexico at times, but the game was never, it was over after the first drive. So, but there's a lot of things. The offense is broken. And the overreaction is it can't be fixed this year. That's the overreaction. I don't think that's the case completely. The truth of the matter is you need stability on that offensive line. You need to not have musical chairs of, all right, now you go left tackle. Now you go now, you know what? Let's go. And I understand why, because of health. Mm-hmm. You got youngsters playing. You got youngsters that are having to grow up in a hurry. But that's the overreaction is this can't be fixed. I don't know if it can be fixed per se. It can be better. And you've got to be, the offense is not a team yet. You've got to be on the same page. You've got to, the quarterback has to protect the line by not holding the ball as long. And the line needs to protect the quarterback, right? They missed some blocks, sure. I don't think it was as bad. I know a lot of people reevaluated the offensive line play. Probably wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good enough. So as Billy has said many times, survive in advance. And I say that here to you, OB, and we talked about a pre-show. We have a pre-show meeting. We're kind of a big boy show here. I had my coffee and we just chat. But beat Mississippi State, which is not a guarantee anymore. Whatever happens against Bama is going to happen against Bama, okay? Let's just say at that point, you are 4-2, right? Mm-hmm. You have Missouri after that.
Yeah.
And I think you still have Zach Calzada. You should win that game. But if you can just survive this next 3-week stretch, get me to the bye week, and then reevaluate when Haynes King is ready to roll. It may not be the national championship season that we all expected, but there are teams in the SEC that are losing, and I would not be surprised if Alabama loses this weekend, Arkansas or Georgia's losing this weekend. So there's a lot of losses out there in the SEC that are gonna. I'm not thinking you're going to be playing in Atlanta anymore. Not the way this offense looked this past weekend. But there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in college football right now. Clemson looks terrible. Notre Dame's undefeated. They have not impressed me at all. Oklahoma's undefeated. They have not impressed me at all. So there's still a chance to play for something. Just get through these next couple of weeks and win the games that you're supposed to win.
Well, you just made me depressed again because when you mentioned about all the teams that are struggling, that's an example of what was out there. Mm-hmm. But A&M's one of the struggling teams. And health is a big issue. I wouldn't say at this point, other than Prairie View, that there's a game that A&M should win. There's a lot of games that A&M can win. And I would say this, if you just won as A&M the games that you have left against the teams that are unranked, you have a chance for a 10-win season if you can win a bowl game. Because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Mississippi State, Missouri, South Carolina, Auburn, obviously Prairie View, and even LSU are unranked right now.
Right.
So, there's still a chance to have a really strong season, but there's no reason, if you look at it objectively at this point, to think that you're going to be a championship contender. And again, a lot of that's because of health, obviously at quarterback, and then in the offensive line. In retrospect, and look, I'm not blaming anybody on this because it's easy to a month into the season to question. But I just wonder in retrospect if you wouldn't have been better off keeping Kenyon Green at left guard where he was an All-American. Because you mentioned it, the guy's playing all over the place. Plus, now I guess you thought Luke Matthews was going to play at center, and so you'd have experience. But as soon as you went to a freshman center, and I tried to ask Jimbo about this earlier, because you were going to have a freshman center and a first-year starting quarterback either way, but the communication, there's going to be a problem. Could there be? Would it, in retrospect, it almost at least seemed like it would behoove you if your two most experienced offensive linemen if you had him at guard, Layden Robinson when he's healthy, and Kenyon Green, to surround your inexperienced freshman center.
Right.
And then, you would have had the Jameer Johnson at left tackle and just figure out. I think Reuben Fothery looks like your answer at tackle. I mean, he's. I think he's your best tackle now. And what do I know? But I see him out there playing pretty well.
Yeah.
So, but I agree with you. Whatever they decide to do, they need to figure out where you're going to put Kenyon Green and keep him there, because you end up making two positions weaker instead of one.
Yeah, I agree. And how many starters were out this weekend? 5, right? If you consider what you expect to start the season with.
I think there were 4 starters out on offense: Haynes King, Layden Robinson, Caleb Chapman, and Chase Lane.
Okay,
I think that's right. So
technically, you thought before the season,
if you thought
Luke
Matthews was,
yeah.
then that would have been 5.
Right. And by the way, I don't know if he's better than Bryce Foster. I'm just saying it gives you more depth and it gives you more experience.
And the experiences thing, and Kenyon Green, as good as he is, even acknowledged that when he was a freshman, true freshman starter, that the physicality and the size of guys caught him by surprise. You come in thinking so even a big, strong guy like Bryce Foster, you say, why is he getting pushed back? Well, he's going against grown men.
And there is a difference, regardless of how big and strong that dude is, there's a difference between man strength, like 18-year-old man strength, and like man strength, veterans.
Right. So don't be, cracking too heavily on the guy. He's in a position that's quite disadvantaged. He's at quite a disadvantage.
Yeah.
And yet he still makes some plays. But I mean, that's who you've got, and that's how it's going to be. And I don't think he's necessarily an enormous liability. But you go up against 21, 22-year-old guys that have been in college weight programs for 4 years. What do you expect from a guy, even a big, strong kid that was playing high school football last year?
God, just the way I'm talking today, I'm just grumpy. I don't know. I just expected more, and I expected more on Saturday. And I knew it was going to be a rougher year when Haynes went down, but I still expected more. But it's still, I don't want to say it's still early, because it's not early. But there's still, things can change, and stability at the offensive line can go a long, long way. Survive and advance, as Billy would say.
I used to have these conversations with Gabe, and I'm not calling you out, Gabe. I know you're probably listening, but I used to have these conversations with him, and he would be really high on a player based on what you would see in the spring game, quarterbacks, or practice. And I'd say, and understand, Jimbo Fisher's telling us before, I think you can win with Zach Calzada. Maybe you can. I think he's an NFL player. Maybe he is. Not right now, but maybe. But you never know really what you've got until that player can be hit and is under real pressure.
Yep.
And at this point, Zach Calzada is not handling, and he's under a lot of pressure. He's under a lot of pressure from the defense. He's under a lot of pressure from his fan base, from his coach. Teammates are expecting a lot. And right now, he's just not responding to that pressure.
Right now, a moment for our friends at the Association of Former Students. Appreciate all that they do. We had Randy here in studio recently. Lexi's been around recently. Porter, Catherine. They do such great work out there. And the Association of Former Students is the oldest organization serving the A&M in support of that Aggie network for over 140 years. We're talking their financial gifts have empowered the association to be here, there, and everywhere. For Texas A&M and Aggies all around the world, too. And they've just got so many different scholarships in the way they've helped others out there. 125,000 student organizations, the Warrior Scholar Project, support of the MSC, academic scholarships all over to study abroad and whatnot. And to give to the association is very simple, guys. It's not expensive, and you can become a Century Club member. $100 a year. It's about $9 a month. You're going to get the plaque, the decal, and the Texas Aggie magazine. Plus, you're continuing in the oldest, most inspiring tradition of Aggies helping other Aggies out there. To learn more about the impact of the association, get involved, or make a gift, visit aggienetwork.com/giving.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone. The Brazos Valley African American Museum announces the 500 Giving Campaign to raise funds for a museum director. Be one of the 500 by going online to bvaam.org. BCS Habitat for Humanity announces its Financial Literacy Workshop Series. The last session is this Thursday. Find more information at habitatbcs.org. Starting Friday, sip your way around the Brazos Valley with Coffee Crawl, benefiting the Children's Museum of the Brazos Valley. Get free coffee from your favorite local shops. Buy your Coffee Crawl tickets online at cmbv.org. Brazos Valley veterans are invited to a free fly fishing workshop on Saturday. Find more information at goodfly.org. Your home for the NFL with Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night NFL from Westwood One is Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Listen in from the first week to the Super Bowl on Aggieland's Home for Sports. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Save Our Streets Ministries is celebrating its 20th annual banquet Rise on Tuesday, October 5th at 6:30. Sponsored by Galleria Spa Salon Boutique and KBTX Media. SOS has invested in lives to rescue, restore, and release families from drug and gang-infested environments where abuse, poverty, and violence are a way of life.
We're in our critical hour, but our finest hour. I just don't want to read about great exploits. I want to be one. Church of the Living God, it's time for us to rise.
Visit SaveOurStreetsMinistries.org/rise and help us save our streets.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals.
It's not every day you can save money. Oh, wait, you can. Hi, Jenny here from Big Deals. When you shop Big Deals, you'll save money every day on dozens of gift certificates from local businesses like these.
Star Cinema Grill, Dirt Road Rustics, Hungry Howie's, Horseshoe Junction Family Fun Park, and more. Visit AggielandBigDeals.com to save big. AggielandBigDeals.com.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
People don't like the Raiders. You got to remember, that's a polarizing team in general. So no matter what good comes out of there, it's like the Cowboys. It's going to still be bad. People are going to find a reason to feel a certain way. And it's all about the hype. If you don't have the Keyshawns behind you pushing the narrative, then other people will set their own agendas to make you think that Carr is worse than what he is. And they go, oh, well, they said that the coach doesn't really like you. John Gruden's never said, ever since he's been there, he didn't like Carr. He never said that. So that was one of those things where people just automatically assume John didn't like Carr, so therefore Carr wasn't any good. So that narrative kept going. So no matter what he would do, he was always behind the eight ball, Jay.
Spend your mornings with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor. Mornings from 5 to 8 here on The Zone.
It's a little frustrating every now and then because previous to our last success, we're not used to this. So I feel like the frustration is going to help us grow. We're going to be more focused, and we're going to do what we need to do.
Isaiah Spiller, frustrated as we are as well, my friend. TexAgs Radio, presented by Dave Gardner's Jewelers. We're here in the Rollo Insurance Studio, and if you want to be a part of the conversation, you can call us up on the BCSI hotline, 979-693-1150. All callers and guests join us on that BCSI hotline. You no longer have to drive to Houston, Dallas, or Austin for major eye surgery such as glaucoma or cataract issues. Let Dr. K take care of you right here in the BCS. They are located on the top level of the Physician Center. Call 979-701-2020 or check out the website, mybcsi.com. Obi and I here trying to break it down during this go hour. And Obi, I want to go over your column. What did you learn, love, and loathe? And also we need to see who brought the heat. And then we can maybe skip that segment, but there's some people who deserve some props, or at least one person deserves some props. So I wanted to kind of share with you my ideas, and I'll make mine quick because I think your column hit it right on the head. But when we talk about what the Aggies did, there's so much negativity out there, no doubt. But there are certain areas that I was happy with. What did I learn about this team? What did I learn about college football? Stuff that we've already known, but maybe it was reinforced. Veteran teams, especially this year, are running college football. There's so many things happening around the league with quarterbacks that we expected to be really good. 5 stars. DJ Uiagalelei over there at Clemson, struggling. Their offensive line is struggling too. Young offensive line. If you're laced with veterans and experience, you can knock off teams that are typical superpowers. I think we're seeing that this year. Nobody outside in college football, I think outside of Georgia right now, has looked amazing. Yeah, Alabama's Alabama, but we're about to find out this weekend.
Vulnerability as well.
Yeah, so that's what I've learned. What I love, and I said this earlier, is that the Aggies had a chance in a game that could have been a blowout. I love that. I love that they, but again, not saying yay me, but if I'm trying to find something that I love, that's about it. Yeah, we can point at Isaiah Spiller's run, and he's maybe the reason they had a chance. But I love that a game that was getting out of hand, they had a chance to win. And what I loathe more than anything, the tackling. And maybe I'm just isolating one play. I'm geo-targeting one little specific area. But that, to me, encapsulates the kind of Saturday the Aggies had.
Ditto. I think what you're trying to say is you really loved that the defense bounced back and only allowed one field goal in the last 44 minutes of the game.
After an interception.
And even that was when Arkansas took over on A&M's end of the field. Because the defense got them in a hole, but then kept them in contention. The offense, couldn't crawl out of it. I loved Isaiah Spiller. I know we'll get to him for the
who brought the heat.
But I love Isaiah Spiller and his approach to the game. He got the long run, but on top of that, the guy just plays hard on every play, even if nothing's there. If everybody played like Isaiah Spiller, we probably wouldn't be as frustrated today.
Yep.
I had a whole story about what I loathed. I loved Nick Constantino. I mean, it's that bad, but when your punter has 5 knocked inside the 20, killed inside the 20, and averages 45-something yards a punt, that's one of the reasons that Arkansas, was slowed down, because he consistently or frequently gave them a long field.
Yeah.
So, but when you have to look for your punter for reasons to feel good about the game, you're in
how the
trouble.
game went.
Yeah. Coaches are in a tough spot, in that, first of all, you don't want to throw any of your players under the bus. If you do, you become mocked and ridiculed, even if you sound like you're criticizing them. And then not only does the media get on your back, but your coaches that you're recruiting against will use that. So it's really hard for a coach to be critical of, individuals. Right. You can say, yeah, we've got to get better. We've got to get better. And you really want sometimes your coach to just be brutally honest, but I don't think that they can be.
No.
So that puts it on guys like us who, quite frankly, don't always know exactly what the calls were.
Yeah.
So sometimes you might think a guy gave up a long pass, but you don't know what the calls were. It might not. It might have been a bust on somebody else's part. But I think our eyes can tell us that the quarterback's not playing well. I think our eyes can tell us that the scheme, that you were out-schemed, that the Arkansas coaches won the game. They were more creative.
Yep.
They took more chances. And you were saying it earlier. What do you do if you're saying, well, we're going to take what the defense gives us? Well, what do you do when what they give you is just crumbs and you can't take anything else? So the offensive line's got to play better. The quarterback's got to play better. The defense has got to come out more intense, because they're the pitcher that if you give up a run, you don't know if you're going to win. And the coach has got to put some creativity into his game plan and come up with some, something more than, hey, let's run a couple plays here and then let's try to drop the ball off to our running backs or receivers short and hope they break a tackle.
Yep. On the A&B text line, Jeremy's asking, why did they not give the ball to Spiller after that 67-yard run? I didn't see it given to him at all after that fantastic run. They gave him one pass, I believe, but they did not run the ball again. Remind me how Jimbo phrased it when I asked him about that. It was basically they checked out is kind of how I remember it.
Well, first of all, they brought A-Chain in for the next series.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the series where, they got the ineligible downfield, and then the guy tripped over his own feet, and so then you're not going to run because you're looking at 2nd and 25,
right?
And plus he's not in there. The next one is when they threw the interception, and they were trying. He was trying to throw it to Isaiah Spiller. Spiller was in there. They were trying to throw it to him, but he hits his center in the helmet, and it deflects up, and it's an interception. And then the third time, well, let's see what happened on the next one. I don't know if Isaiah was in there. Isaiah finally caught a pass in the last 3 minutes, but they lost 2 yards on it. It was another one of those. Let's dump it underneath the coverage. But they've got 5 guys coming back, and as soon as the ball's leaving the hands of Calzada, all 5 guys are heading toward the target.
It's just not a good day. Hey, let's do this. Let me just so I can at least check off something on the rundown. Who brought the heat? It's a very simple answer. Isaiah Spiller. And he's done it. Without Isaiah Spiller, they probably lose the Colorado game. Probably.
Yeah. Definitely.
Calzada made the pass. You got to give him credit for the pass there.
I'm thinking of the catch before the touchdown pass.
Sure. So that's A. B, what he did in that 67-yard touchdown gave you belief.
Hope.
It gave you hope. I at that point, I'm like, maybe they are going to win this game. Maybe it's going to go down we've seen so many times, crazy games. When it was 17-0, I'm like, this is going to get disgusting real quick. Isaiah Spiller, even on that first drive, was great. The very first drive of the game, they gave him the ball a lot early on in that game. Then they kind of had to go away from it. But they went back to it, and he was phenomenal. If there's one guy that brought the heat, and I know there are other people who played well. I know that. But Isaiah Spiller, and Billy said on Luchador yesterday, he's been the MVP, no doubt.
No question.
DeMarvin Leal's been really good, too. I mean, there's people you can point at but on an offense that has struggled to move the ball, he has been your one consistent home run threat.
He is. He's your MVP. Like you said, everybody should approach the game the way he does. And, he's not a real outspoken guy, but you kind of wish he was.
Yep.
You wish you had somebody, a Buddy Johnson type, that is real outspoken and also leads by example, to where he can get up and if somebody's not playing well, why are you not? DeMarvin said something like, what did he say to begin that? Something about not being focused, or I don't know if that's the word he used. And it was the SEC opener.
How
why
are we
not?
not focused?
How are you not?
Yeah. By the way, and I think I said it last segment, Isaiah brought it, right? He brought the heat. Arkansas Stars brought the heat. KJ Jefferson brought it.
Yeah. I didn't think he could beat you with his arm, and he did.
And he did. All right. Burks brought the heat.
I knew he could beat you.
But he did. He did. And Catalan, he had the big play. Regardless of how he got it. I mean, didn't he get the pick, or am I wrong?
He was right there, but it was the guy in front of
next to him. But he played well. So the heat that Isaiah brought, to me, we need the other stars to step up and bring the heat.
Yeah.
You need Watermeyer to bring the heat.
Yeah, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I get myself in trouble a lot, and I will. I think, judging by body language, that this is purely my speculation. No one has said this. I'm just facing my
forensic scientist or body language.
My view, and I could be wrong, but I think Jalen Watermeyer is extremely frustrated. I think there's been times he's been open and the ball either hasn't come to him or it's come way too high. Sometimes too high for him to catch it. Sometimes so high that he gets his hands on it, but only if he's leaping and extended. Right. And I think it's starting to affect the rest of his play.
Yeah. Well, put it this way. Losing, and they've only lost one game, but being ineffective on offense does have an effect on your body language. There's no doubt about it. If you've seen it, even in the games that you're scoring 34 points, there's. I just want to see them get him the ball more because I think he is such a dynamic player, and they need to develop some kind of chemistry. But right now, I wasn't smiling, so I wasn't smiling this weekend. Right? I had a frown, but guess what? You can still see my teeth when I frown. If I do it like that, it's weird. But get your teeth fixed, guys. Dr. Troy Elms and Dr. Jeremy Stewart there at Elms Orthodontics on the bypass in College Station. They take great care of their customers. They fix your smile. Dr. Elms has been here in the College Station area for over 30 years, 16-time Best of the Brazos winner, class of 86, just a mainstay in our community, does amazing work, braces, Invisalign, you name it, and so does Dr. Jeremy Stewart. He's class of 03. He's on the TexAgs message boards often. They just do wonderful work out there. Get an evaluation, get a consultation, figure out, fix that smile. Braces or Invisalign, they'll take care of you. They got great advice. 1501 Emerald Parkway in College Station. The phone number for Elms Orthodontics, 979-693-6300, or learn more online at drelms.com.
Get the Zone Daily Newsletter emailed to you each morning at 8. Sign up now.
Sign up now.
TheZone1150.com.
Howdy, y'all. This is Cullen Gillespie, former 12th man. I've always tried to help my team on and off the field. And now I'd like to help Texas A&M fans like you cut their electricity bills in half. Yep, in half. It takes less than 5 minutes and you'll save hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars every year. 90% of Texans overpay for electricity, so don't be one of them. Sign up today at EnergyOgre.com and use code GILLY, G-I-L-L-Y, for a free month of service.
There's a Kubota for every job. There's a Kubota for every harvest. There's a Kubota for every task. And at Normandy Tractor, for a limited time only, take the drive to Normandy, Texas, and let Vernon and the boys show you what they have. Get the new Kubota BX 1880 16.6 horsepower tractor and a Kubota loader with a quick attach bucket now through December 31st, 2021. For a cash price of only $12,950, or payments as low as $170 per month. With no money down, based on 0% down, 1.99% APR for 84 months. Normandy Tractor has over 8 acres of Kubota tractors, Kubota RTVs, ATVs, and Kubota mowers to choose from. They're at the corner of Highway 39 and OSR in Normandy, Texas. And remember, nobody beats Normandy Tractor. Nobody.
Now through December 31st, 2021. For warranty terms, see Kubota's limited warranty at KubotaUSA.com or your Kubota dealer.
At Social Security, we are always thinking of ways to save you time and make things easier. That's why we created My Social Security. Opening a My Social Security account gives you secure access to your personal record and interactive tools tailored for you. You can see if you are eligible to receive benefits, view spousal benefit estimates, and compare retirement benefit estimates at different ages or dates when you want to start receiving benefits. Already receiving benefits? Use your account to change your address, set up or change direct deposit, get a proof of income letter, and more. In most states, you can also request a replacement Social Security card. Save time. Go online. Open a My Social Security account at ssa.gov/myaccount. Social Security. Securing today and tomorrow.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Game day on the Zone starts 3 hours before kickoff with the Twin Peaks pregame show, and it's powered by TexAgs.com. Game day on the Zone is brought to you in part by Gage Gandy Bail Bonds, Bobcat of the Brazos Valley, Tradition, Mobile One Lube, and Frontier Communications. After listening into the pregame show, you can hear every Aggie football game, home road national championship, right here on Sports Radio 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Oh, brother. It is TexAgs Radio. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. We're going to get to the News and Social Center here in a moment. But first, let's go to the BCSI hotline as I try to get it going. Trey is on there, and he wants to talk a little bit about the game. Welcome to the program. TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
Hey, Dave, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Hey,
Hey, dude, good. Hey, OB, how you?
Good.
Hey, I've never called before. I text a lot, but I was listening to you guys a while ago, and I wanted to get on before the River and Olin Buchanan got off. But, talking about the quarterback and the scheme and the lack of, having creativity. Unfortunately, I think right now with our situation at quarterback, I don't think we can do anything creative. I know Calzada wasn't supposed to be there, but right now, watching that game on Saturday, I think Jimbo was doing everything he could to try to at least make something positive out of something. And unfortunately, we can't do anything. I think we all know a good quarterback can hide a lot of mistakes. And unfortunately, we just don't have that guy right now. And, the old Aggie in me would have been throwing things and been upset, but I kind of think we all knew that this was going to happen, and it did. I just hope we can make something out of the season. I didn't either, but it did. And, reality is reality. But, I'm not giving up.
Hey, Dre,
and, hopefully we'll bounce back and go on.
We appreciate your phone call. Thank you so much for calling the show. And I wanted to get to the News and Social Center. We're running out of time. OB, survive in advance, baby. Find a way to beat Mississippi State, reevaluate after Alabama.
Sam Pittman found a way to throw to a receiver to then throw downfield and some reverses and whatnot. You got to try something.
Something's got to change. I don't know what that is. All right, Billy should be here in studio for hour number 2 and 3. We'll continue taking your calls and your text messages on the A&B text line. It is TexAgs Radio. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our Aggie broadcast sponsors, Schulte Roofing, Prosperity Bank, Hargrove Insurance, and Rudy's Barbecue. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Our publications reach every corner of the Brazos Valley, and we want to partner with you in sharing your message with the community. You may recognize a few of our Bryan Broadcasting publications.
Best of the Brazos Valley.
Brazos Life, the annual manual. Welcome home, Brazos Valley.
Brazos Family. Brazos Wellness.
Brazos Valley Bride.
Peace, Brazos Christian Life.
With the combined power of 7 magazine titles, 11 radio stations, and digital solutions, Bryan Broadcasting Publications can help you be heard. Call 979-695-9595 to learn more.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on The Zone. The College Station City Council had no comments at their last meeting before approving all 18 consent agenda items. A new roof is going on the old police department building, which is now being used as the International Leadership of Texas High School. The council agreed to allow Costco more time to determine the costs of building infrastructure. Following an initial 4-week extension, Costco was given another 5 weeks to October 31st. And there was no discussion or questions regarding a $400,000 contract with a Dallas company for city-related marketing and advertising. Tomorrow is National Good Neighbor Day.
It's just a great opportunity for our neighborhoods, our residents to get together with their neighbors, their household members, and get to know them more.
Promoting more interaction is the City of College Station's Neighborhood Services Coordinator, Esmer Casas.
We just want to make sure that they're talking to each other, they're getting connected, and so when there are projects in the neighborhood or anything that they have questions about, they know where to go.
Casas invites College Station residents to sign up for neighborhood newsletters online at cstx.gov/neighbor. College Station police arrest a Bryan man on a charge of grabbing a young girl, forcing her to a vacant apartment, and sexually assaulting her. 27-year-old Keandre Perry was found the day after the attack in a motel room that he did not pay for. According to online records, it is Perry's 5th arrest since March and his 23rd trip to jail in the last 10 years. Former Texas Congressman Beto O'Rourke tells the Texas Tribune he has not decided whether he will run for governor next year.
It's something I'm thinking about, and no secret about that. And I'm just trying to ensure that whatever I do going forward, whatever I continue to work on that we've started, is to the benefit of the greatest number of my fellow Texans.
Asked about actor Matthew McConaughey, O'Rourke says he has done a great work helping others, but O'Rourke says he really does not know where McConaughey stands on any issues. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Bryan Broadcasting is your home for high school football. Bryan High, A&M Consolidated, Rudder, and College Station High play on the Bryan Broadcasting family of stations. No matter where you are, hear every play, every game, all season long. Thanks to Amarillo National Bank, Glenn College, BCS Toyota, and Ed Phillips Plumbing. To find out when and where to hear your favorite team, go to brazosfootball.com.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals.
It's not every day you can save money. Oh, wait, you can. Hi, Jenny here from Big Deals. When you shop Big Deals, you'll save money every day on dozens of gift certificates from local businesses like these.
Howdy's Pizza, BCS Tire Pros, Cotton and Oak Home and Style, Cilantro Mexican Grill, and more. Visit AggielandBigDeals.com to save big. AggielandBigDeals.com.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Zach Taylor with your Aggie Sports Minute on the Zone. This Sports Minute is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click HilcoSupply.com. Texas A&M football saw its 9-game win streak against Arkansas come to an end Saturday, falling to the Razorbacks 20-10 in Arlington. Coach Jimbo Fisher after the loss.
You never win a game in the first 10 minutes of a game, 15 minutes of the game, but you can sure put yourself behind the 8 ball, and that's what we did. We gave up big plays, big drives. They hit some just made plays early in the game, and we didn't get guys down. We were out of gaps, didn't tackle. I didn't think we tackled well. We didn't tackle in space very well, especially the first half of that game.
With the loss, Jimbo and the guys fall to 3-1 on the year and dip to number 15 in the new AP poll. Now, for more insight into the game, tune into the Liucci Hour tonight from 6 to 7 right here on The Zone. A rough weekend for Aggie women's soccer, which dropped matches to Arkansas and Auburn. The Maroon and White fell to the 11th-ranked Razorbacks Friday 1-0 and were shut out by the number 13 Tigers yesterday 3-0. Over on the volleyball court, a much better weekend for A&M, which swept South Carolina Sunday 3-0. 5 Aggies logged at least 7 kills as they improved to 9-3 overall and 2-0 in conference play. And women's golf is tied for third following round 2 of the Schooner Fall Classic. Blanca Fernandez Garcia Poggio is tied for fourth individually at 1 under. And that's been your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Zach Taylor.
Listening to The Zone on your Amazon Dot or Echo is easy. Even Louie figured it out. 2 simple steps, and you can hear Chip Howard Sports Talk, TexAgs Radio, The Louie Bellina Show, and many of your favorite A&M teams anytime, anywhere with your special friend, Alexa. Step 1, and only one time, say, Alexa, enable Zone 1150 skill. Then anytime you want to hear your favorite host or teams, all you have to do is say, Alexa, play Zone 1150. Make sure to set it all up and say, Alexa, enable Zone 1150 skill, and listen in anytime just by saying, Alexa, play Zone 1150.
Yeah, this song kind of fits my mood. Just kind of, I don't know, got a case of the Mondays. It is TexAgs Radio. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, and we are here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. And just reacting to what was a disastrous weekend in Arlington as Arkansas brought it to Texas A&M, and the Aggies started off flat. The game didn't end. Hi, Billy. I think I'm in a worse mood today than I was yesterday.
Yeah.
But I also know that you can brighten my day with some optimism. Good morning to you, Billy.
I don't have a lot for you other than no, I don't. I don't have very much. I don't think Saturday's performance was good on any level. There are losses where you go, hey, I can't really say that about this one.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone in that A&M locker room's probably got to be in bright today. They've got to be kicking themselves. And, it's one of those games where if you wish you could replay it and play it back, which you probably do to some level after every loss, but when you sit there and go, man, we played terribly. And what can we fix? And I think particularly defense would have liked to reset on that thing, number one. just because they were so bad at the start and then settled in. And it's like, gosh, we weren't that bad at the start. Completely different game.
But that seems to be an issue, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Not just
for
one
sure.
game. It's not isolated to
Yeah, and, but it's not like they're getting destroyed at the start, but they also haven't played good teams.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not.
But Colorado was a bad start.
Yeah, but it wasn't like they had an interception on the first possession.
Yeah.
Third play of the game, they had an interception that should have led to A&M. The team started bad, and the defense was getting the ball moved on them, but they didn't. They gave up 7 points in the first half. So I can say their second half was incredible. Their first half was shaky, but I don't want to go, this is a slow starting bad defense, but it was on Saturday. There's no question about it. But, I mean, throughout the year, through 4 games, we've seen them not be airtight for long stretches. They haven't been airtight against the run because we're 4 games in now, and they're going to play better teams from here on out. They haven't played the most explosive offense. Arkansas is a difficult offense to defend because of the running quarterback, because how they can attack you vertically with Burks and that big arm, and they can run the football so well. So they're tough, but, I mean, you've still got to play Alabama. You've got to play Ole Miss. Missouri can move the ball, if nothing else. They've got a good quarterback. Mississippi State this week's going to sling it around. LSU's kind of figured things out offensively, at least, you know, their big plays in the passing game. So you've got the bigger tests are still to come, no question about it. So they've got to fix some things on defense. But we're talking about Saturday. They got ambushed from the beginning. So, again, it's one of those deals where you're going, God, that cost us the game right there. And I'm not saying it was just the defense, because clearly 20 points, while A&M probably went into that one expecting to hold Arkansas to less, you also should expect your offense to score more than 20. And they scored half that.
If you would have told me before the game you're going to hold Arkansas to 20, I would have told you A&M wins.
If you made me bet on that, I would have, but it would have been close. Because the offense, I was predicting 23-17, 20-17 A&M, and thinking it was going to be a final possession type thing. And they almost got it there. Credit the team for the fight. Credit Jimbo and, you know, Elko for the halftime adjustments. The team, Jimbo for whatever he did with the team at halftime, because it looked bleak. And then you look up, and very quickly, you're only midway through the third, you're only down 7. Then you get the ball back with a chance to tie, and then there's a disastrous, interception that goes off a guy's helmet. Targeting wasn't called. Blatant, right in front of the official. They don't call that. They've called 76 bad targetings on A&M this year that they've ended up, I feel like they've reversed, but the refs are really quick and free to throw that. It's a game-changing play. Am I sure A&M goes the next 50 yards for a touchdown? No. Absolutely not.
We didn't get to see it.
But you also, if you go 3 and out there, you punt it, and they're getting the ball with Malik Hornsby deep in their own end, and you're probably getting it back for a second chance to tie it in decent field position, as opposed to what happened, which was so. I mean, it was a game-changing no call, but A&M just played. They played really poorly, David. In addition to what we know, we knew the offensive line.
Right.
And if you'd told me then midway through the game you're going to lose Jameer Johnson and that O-line was going to get even more shaken up, I would have said, yeah, it's going to be a rough one for the offense. Calzada never looked comfortable or confident. They've got a quarterback issue, and they've got an O-line issue. They had receivers out. They have a receiver issue. Their offense is
that's a lot of issues.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
It's a mess right now. And a lot of it's understandable. Find me an offense in college football, and I'm sure there's one. Maybe it's Clemson. Maybe that's why they're so bad. They have a quarterback. They have the guy they thought was quarterback. Find me an offense that's lost the QB. And by the way, a QB that does something that the backup can't do.
Right.
So it changes even
everything.
More than just you lose your starting QB. You're already replacing 4 linemen, and you keep having to move things around because you've had a lineman injured every week. So just on Saturday alone, by halftime, you're playing without 2 of your 5 starters up front. You don't have the quarterback. you're playing without 2 of your 3 starting receivers, and it's an absolute mess right now. But then it's also like tight ends and wide receivers blocking is just atrocious. They've got to start putting different people on the field. I would put different people out there and say, if you don't want to block, you're not playing.
Right.
If you can't block, then you can't play football here. And that goes for everyone. And you could tell A&M was going to try to run some outside. They can't. They got no blocking on the perimeter. So those type things are a problem. And then even when it comes to the play calling and attack, like just look at the two, to me, and this is, again, Arkansas is a good example, though. Look at the 2 offenses. One came out in all-out attack mode. The other one got the fight taken to them early. Guys in the backfield, tackles for loss. Twofold here. Arkansas players were swarming to the football. Texas A&M defenders were not swarming. That's effort. That's attitude. Like DeMarvin said, fighting for every crumb. One team early was fighting for the crumbs when I watched the 2 defensives play. The other one was pulling up and two-hand touching guys on their way to pushing them into the end zone on long runs and looking confused and not looking confident. And you didn't have 4 and 5 guys to the football on every play. That was Arkansas. That was not A&M. So the Arkansas defense outplayed the A&M defense, but Arkansas was playing against A&M's offense. A&M was playing against Arkansas's. When KJ Jefferson went out for Burks and the running back and that O-line that was doing a good job, what did they do when
Nothing.
Nothing.
And I hate that people are saying, well, if he doesn't get hurt, A&M gets blown out. We're dealing with the same thing.
Yeah, it is. And I know Zach was in his second start, but it's still let Malik Hornsby go start against Georgia and see what happens. See what their defense does. See what Arkansas will get shut out. They won't score a point. So you saw that. They got a field goal. Hornsby made one good. He pulled it one time.
Yep.
Got a key first down and some yards. But they were shut down. And so all of a sudden the A&M defense looked so much better because Arkansas, you have to pull in your play calling. They're not in that attack mode. But I will just say that, the Razorbacks came out in all-out attack. And Dalton was saying, when I was out there, he was showing me the play where, they got the false start on the second drive, and it was 1st and 15. And they raced back up to the line to throw that deep shot to Burks over Miles Jones and just hurried it up. And just they were dialed in as play callers early, and I don't think the Aggies were either. So I thought it was the whole game, the start, the ambush, and that was enough. That they rode that start, they rode that first quarter to a victory for the reasons we talked about, because A&M really can't play comeback football. I mean, it's not what they're built for right now. That's for damn sure. So you can't fall behind like that. So it was a team loss. Defense settled down. The offense showed a lot of fight, heart kind of hanging in there, and Spiller was incredible. But it wasn't enough, and it wasn't enough against a team. And the thing about Arkansas, how many senior starters? 18 seniors.
Yeah. That's college football this year, though.
18 seniors, like however many of those super seniors, it's 11. A&M's got 5 or so. They got 11. It is college football this year, and Arkansas's taking advantage. And it's kind of like A&M last year, where I said the veteran teams with all the seniors and the continuity on offense and defense and the systems are going to be the ones that rise up and stand out, because the COVID offseason messed so much up in terms of preparation, and you saw A&M benefit from that, and they really did. Not to take anything away. I'm not taking anything away from Arkansas, but Arkansas is benefiting from that. They had the right guys stay. A&M had the right guys stay on defense. Unfortunately, a couple of them were involved in those 2 bad touchdowns early. But those guys, you want them on your football team. They've done really nice things for you in the past. Jaden Peavy helped save a game at Colorado earlier in the year with the way he played. So those guys are important. But whereas Arkansas has 11 and A&M has 5 or 6, imagine if I could give you 2-3 more where A&M had 7 or 8. And by the way, Nuno, they just both happened to be on the offensive line. How much different does this entire thing look?
But again, if you make those changes, I still think Zach is an issue right now.
Yeah, well, maybe Haynes King, if he's got better blocking, doesn't get his ankle broken in the second game. There's a lot. It all kind of ties in together. Yeah. But, man, right now it is. They are on the precipice. I'd say they're on the precipice of disaster. I think that's harsh. I think they're in a position where they could go either way. To sit there and say they're on the verge of a disaster, yeah, if they lose to Mississippi State, they could go either way in these next few weeks. And I say few because in between is Alabama, and that's just kind of you set that one aside and you go.
Right now, we see no reason
to think that they can beat Alabama the way they've played. They couldn't beat Arkansas, and then we're on the verge of getting blown out. They didn't. Credit them for not. But it was that one was teetering on the brink. They were that close to losing to a bad Colorado team. But look, the two teams they've played really been the most. They played the only Power Fives, but the difference is. Both those front sevens were veteran returning groups, and they gave the A&M O-line and quarterback fits. That's a problem for A&M. That's a problematic matchup. So if you want to start looking around, look at the defensive fronts. And you know who else returns, I think, a lot up front from last year is Mississippi State.
Mississippi State, yeah.
So it's not that game is
far
from a guarantee.
Yeah.
Far from a guarantee. And with Will Rogers and the way they're throwing it around, the Aggie defense is going to have to whip Mississippi State's ass up front, and they're going to have to get a few turnovers in this game. They got to help the offense out. They got to get off to a strong start, and they're going to have they created no turnovers Saturday. Who knows? One could have turned that thing around. Maybe an early one,
a special teams touchdown or a turnover.
They're going to have to do something more. They're going to have to. And look, it's a lot on the defense, but I've had these guys coming in here, and they certainly say they embrace it, and you can tell it's genuine. Like they're not going to point fingers. I don't feel that. I don't see that. I've seen that on teams. I don't see it on this one, but they are going to have to maybe carry a little bit more of that burden. So they're not on the brink of disaster. They are just as much as they're on the verge of gaining some momentum. Like win a home SEC game. Bama's Bama. That one right now, you're trying to think about where the point's going to come from. Right? I mean, Arkansas's defense is veteran. Alabama is still they've got guys that are more difficult to block, put it that way. Then you go to Missouri. That's not a good Missouri team. It's a good Missouri quarterback. It's not a good Missouri team. And then you come home to South Carolina. There's a chance to really kind of keep your head above water here. And I think by then you'll have number 13 back. Then you go into a bye. Auburn certainly, they're not invincible right now. Yeah, okay, they played Penn State really tough. Well, okay, what just happened? They had to bench Bo Nix. They fired their wide receivers coach. They're a mess right now. Look, you got a stretch where there's one game that you look at and go, yeah, that's probably not going to happen. You got a stretch of games of 5 games coming up where 4 of them you go, we get our act together, get our crap together, we actually should win those games. You should beat Mississippi State, South Carolina, and Auburn at home. You should go on the road and beat Missouri if you're not, licking your wounds too much or moping around, depending on what happens with Bama. So
it starts this weekend, though.
They're not on the precipice of disaster. They are at a fork in the road as a football team right now this season.
All right, well, more on that here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. If you want to be a part of the conversation, 979-693-1150 is the BCSI hotline, and you can text us on the A&B text line, 979-693-1150. But right now, I want to remind you to text radio to 900-900 for your chance to win the Big Friday giveaway, courtesy of our friends at Aggieland Outfitters, and we're going to unveil that winner at 10 o'clock, during the 10 o'clock hour on Friday's show. And freaking Aggieland Outfitters does it again. Look at this one. This one right here, okay? All right, this is the champion Texas A&M Aggies quarter zip pullover, perfect for the fall and winter as we got a cold front coming up this week. I think Wednesday it's expected to be here. I mean, I want it. Everything they bring me, I want. And I don't have the money to have everything. So I'm going to be selective, and this might be the one I'm selective about. White pullovers made of heavy material lined with super soft fabric. It is valued at $69.99. Quite stylish. I love the top on it, the collar area, I should say. It is just really, really nice, and it's at Aggieland Outfitters. Make sure you stop by. Got a home game coming up. Maybe it's cool. Maybe you wear this. How about everybody wearing it? I think I'd like it. It's awesome there, and check it out at Aggieland Outfitters.
Your home for Texas A&M baseball is Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Zone.
We have trucks. Yes, at Tom White Chevrolet, we have the cars, trucks, and SUVs you want today. New, used, and certified pre-owned. We have more stock coming in daily, and we won't be beat on price. And if you need quick cash, we are buying cars even if you don't buy from us. All roads lead to Tom White Chevrolet in Bryan College Station. Chevy, find new roads. More details at tomlight.com.
Tom White Chevrolet. We're here for you every day.
Grab your first cup of coffee weekday mornings with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Powered by WC Tractor here on 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Plus, online at RadioAggieland.com. WC Tractor is your local award-winning Kubota and New Holland dealer. You have questions? Look them up online or at WCTractor.com. That's WCTractor.com. You can also call with your questions at 1-888-8-TRACTOR. That's 1-888-8-TRACTOR. ESPN Radio. Powered by WC Tractor here on The Zone.
Howdy, it's me, the Roofer Girl, Rainy Night, Class of 90. Aggieland Roofing is proud to promote Breast Cancer Awareness Month by donating a portion of every roof sold in the month of October to Pink Alliance, Brazos Valley's very own breast health and support advocate. Join us by supporting our local women and urge every woman to get a mammogram. If your roof needs are large or small, commercial or residential, make the official roofer of Texas A&M your roofer. Thank you for your support. Shop local, shop licensed, and call me, the Roofer Girl, at Aggieland Roofing.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our Aggie broadcast sponsors, Schulte Roofing, Prosperity Bank, Hargrove Insurance, and Rudy's Barbecue. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
You can hear the Paul Feinbaum Show weekdays 2 to 4 here on The Zone. Presented by Polaris Fun Center. Paul Feinbaum is SEC Country and Aggieland is SEC Country too. Join Paul weekdays 2 to 4 here on The Zone. Polaris Fun Center, where you can get a $500 rebate on any 450 or 570 Model A TV or $2,000 cash back on a Polaris XP1000. Polaris Fun Center, where they sell and service fun, not tractors. The voice of the SEC. And you can hear Paul Feinbaum weekdays from 2 to 4 on The Zone.
You can hear Astros baseball all season and postseason long on Sports Radio 1150 and 93.7 FM, plus Gospel 97.3 FM, thanks to Kelly Burt Dozer. The Astros look to make another World Series run. You can hear the games on The Zone or on Gospel 97.3 FM, thanks to Kelly Burt Dozer. The Houston Astros, the World Series. Listen in, all thanks to Kelly Burt Dozer.
Well, I mean, we got to protect better, and we got to. I know we didn't get as much as Sir. We popped a couple runs. Isaiah ended up with 100 yards, but he popped the one big run, had it there. We had some nice 4 or 5. We had some consistent runs the first 2 or 3 drives, and then we have a self-inflicted wound, get behind the sticks, and couldn't pick up on third down. Our third down conversions were really poor, and in times I have to. I don't want to stick my foot in my mouth to do, but I think we got to get more surge. We had nothing. Jameer got hurt. And we had to move around again and make some adjustments today.
All right, Jimbo Fisher breaking it all down here, why they were not able to run the ball. It is TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Not able to run the ball, why they didn't run the ball towards the end of the game. Isaiah Spiller only having 1 touch there after his big touchdown. Yeah, that's open for criticism, or at least analyzing.
It's certainly worth questioning. I think what Jimbo would probably find out when he went back, I mean, yeah, he might be like, yeah, we should have run it a little more, but I bet, I don't know. How many drives did they have the ball when they were only down 1 score? Because when you get down 2 scores with 7 minutes left, 6 minutes left, then it's a different you're going into a hurry up kind of mode. I still don't think you have to. With 7 minutes, if you can go on a 3-minute drive and still have your timeouts, you kick off normally and you play, you try to go 3 and out defense there. So I would still count that drive. I bet they had 2 drives.
So they scored at the 7:51 mark of the third quarter.
Okay, and then how many possessions did they have before it was 20-10?
So
A&M?
I'm gonna have to go to
probably 2.
That may take me a little bit longer to figure out.
Okay, well
here.
I think it was 2, but if it was 3. But you're going to go back and go, they started that next drive, I think, with a run by A-Chain for 8 yards, and then they didn't run it again.
So after the touchdown, punt, interception, punt, downs. I have it right here.
Yeah,
so they basically they had, before the interception,
one drive. Yeah, so I think that's a little overdone. I do think you got to at least – I mean, a lot of times those are yards that are there for the taking that weren't there early in the game. When you are down 2 scores and the defense is getting a little softer in terms of not wanting you to score quick, give it to 28. He probably a lot easier for him to pop an 8, 10, 12-yard run, which is better than what you were doing throwing the ball.
Well, that's my point. I think more than anything, Zach was struggling, and he still, 36 throws he had in that game?
Yeah.
And the one home run threat you've had has been Isaiah Spiller.
Yeah.
So
and A-Chain, by the way, is always a home run threat still.
Yeah.
He had 5 or 6 carries in the game?
Yeah.
It was like 5 or 6.
I'm looking at it right here. A-Chain 5 carries, 24 yards. I
mean, so Spiller was your best player in that game, and A-Chain's always a threat to pop one. Hell, if you're not going to get Anias the ball through the air and you're not able to do that, then put him back there. He's explosive. So I get it, but they had 1 possession.
Before it was a 2-possession.
Before it was a 2-possession. But even when did Arkansas kick the field goal? It was about, it might have still been 8 minutes left in the game. 10 minutes.
Kicked their field goal at 8:39 of the fourth quarter.
So that next drive, I think you still could have mixed in a run or 2 to get probably 10, 12, 8 cheap yards kind of.
And I think that's where Jimbo was talking about the drive where the defense did allow some conversions.
And I think Zach's probably checked out a 1 or 2, so that's always a factor. But yeah, it wasn't as big a deal, and I hate seeing like fans and even like, I saw players' parents on there on social media talking about it, and it's like
there's more to it.
There's a little more to it. I agree. Like, got to test it. Then I'm sure if they go back and go, yeah, we should have popped in a run or 2 there just to see. But yeah, it was really a drive, and on that drive were they 3 and out. All right. The drive after Isaiah's 70-something yarder, 67-yarder.
It looked like it
Read me the plays.
That's going to take me a minute to get it to open.
All right. It was. I don't know if it was 3 and out, but it was a short drive, and I mean it's that was. I think that's down on my list.
5 plays, 14 yards.
Okay, that's down on my list of. Man, this is why they lost that football game. If you had told me it was 3-4 possessions and they just started airing it out, again, do I think they should have mixed in some Spiller runs? Hell, I think they should have mixed in 6 or 0 in there too. They're so explosive and quick through it. But this is what happens when you lose a game: is everyone starts. We've kind of forgotten how that goes. Everyone starts analyzing the why. The why is that Arkansas came out and played harder in the first quarter. They're a more experienced football team, and right now at this point in the season, they're a better football team. They also have their starting quarterback. That's the why. I mean, you could go through everything, and here's the why. They came out with their hair on fire. A&M did not. A&M came out a little on their heels, which is you should have known. We talked about it. Weathering the early storm. You knew there was going to be an early storm. Batten down the hatches, Put the plywood up on the window. Get your damn umbrella. Or go out there like Lieutenant Dan and said, bring that crap on.
Right.
Come at me. They didn't do that. That was not their attitude. their attitude was kind of like, oh, we weren't expecting this. Well, it's like being in a boxing match and you watch. It's like underestimating your opponent, but you have all this tape to watch and see how they come out, and you know what they're going to do in terms of how bad they're going to want, and just to kind of ignore what you see.
I kind of thought they came out really well on that first drive, and then it stopped. But like you got a couple.
You mean offensively?
Yeah. I was like, all right, we're
I good felt, run by Isaiah to start the game,
and then it was gone.
Yeah, they got a first down on that drive, and then defensively they were awful from the first play. It was like a 15-yard run, a 12-yard run, a 13-yard run in between that was called back on a penalty, and then they just come right back and gain 12, and then a long pass to a wide open guy, and you stiffen up, force a field goal, then they come back and hit you with that deep ball, and it's like you're on the ropes. You're on the ropes, like almost knocked out 2 possessions in. Only 10-0, but it felt like the stadium roof's coming down on you. Certainly seemed that way for Zach and the O-line. But you watch some of those plays, and I saw like an Arkansas fan posted like a series of, plays by the Arkansas defense, and it's just like the blocking is just getting obliterated. And you have guys getting like coming off blocks when they have no business coming off of them, like the offensive guys giving up on block. And Jimbo talked about this last week, giving up on a block, and that guy goes to make the play when all you had to do is stick with him for another second. Just stick with the block, and they're blocking. They kind of lose a little bit of leverage. They let him go, and the guy makes a play in the backfield. You see guys getting blown up onto their backs. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. It's not what this program was built on.
Yeah.
Not at all. Not under this coach. And it's not – that's not – these linemen are going to be good one day. But, I mean, there's also got to be something to kick in to go, I'm not going to get put on my back by somebody from Arkansas. I don't care if they're, a veteran player and I'm not. At some level.
Get angry.
Yeah.
Do
55, he's not that good. He had a field day. He's not that great a player.
Let's do this. Let's when we come back here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, we're going to go to the A&B text line and the News and Social Center. But right now, it is going to get cool again, guys, this week. We expect that cold front to come, and fall's almost here. Milliken Reserve means it's time for some little pumpkin and some chunkin there during their fall festivities, during Pumpkin Palooza. Huh?
Pumpkin and chunkin?
Pumpkin. Yeah, that's what the copy says. Pumpkin, and chunkin. You ever done that?
We're throwing pumpkins?
Yeah, we're throwing them.
No,
we're throwing them at Mississippi State. Maybe not. But they've got the Pumpkin Palooza Festival October 16th and 17th, 10 a.m. to 2 o'clock. You want to go check that out. Also, the Music Festival on the 16th at 5 o'clock, and their trail run, which I think Billy and I are going to partake in. Let's do it. We're going to just run a half marathon. Maybe not. Yeah, I'm sorry.
But I support it.
Yeah, we support it. Maybe, and I don't feel like running that day, but I may be there. Who knows? 10K, 5Ks, half marathon. You've got it. Visit pumpkinpaloozabcs.com to learn more and purchase your tickets.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. The Brazos Valley African American Museum announces the 500 Giving Campaign to raise funds for a museum director. Be one of the 500 by going online to bvaam.org. BCS Habitat for Humanity announces its Financial Literacy Workshop Series. The last session is this Thursday. Find more information at habitatbcs.org. Starting Friday, sip your way around the Brazos Valley with Coffee Crawl, benefiting the Children's Museum of the Brazos Valley. Get free coffee from your favorite local shops. Buy your Coffee Crawl tickets online at cmbv.org. Brazos Valley veterans are invited to a free fly fishing workshop on Saturday. Find more information at goodfly.org. Your home for the NFL with Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night NFL from Westwood One is Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Listen in from the first week to the Super Bowl on Aggieland's Home for Sports. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
AggielandBigDeals.com. Shop local, buy local, save big. I'm struggling, can't pay full price. How about Aggieland Big Deals? Yeah, that's right. I'll be shopping local and saving big with discounts up to 30% on food, clothes, and car repair, or even entertainment and personal care. Is it really gonna be convenient though? Just download the app right on your phone. Oh man, that's slick. Now I'm all in. Those digital certificates are fun to spend. Plus I can print and send gifts along at AggielandBigDeals.com.
Please join Pink Alliance Thursday, September 30th for their 18th annual Surviving and Thriving Cancer Awareness Luncheon, sponsored by St. Joseph Health. Featuring Lori Allen, breast cancer survivor and reality star of Say Yes to the Dress Atlanta. Come hear Lori tell her story as we raise money to support breast cancer patients in the Brazos Valley. For tickets or more information, visit survivingandthriving.org. That's survivingandthriving.org.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
People don't like the Raiders. You got to remember, that's a polarizing team in general. So no matter what good comes out of there, it's like the Cowboys. It's going to still be bad. People are going to find a reason to feel a certain way. And it's all about the hype. If you don't have the Keyshawns behind you pushing the narrative, then other people will set their own agendas to make you think that Carr is worse than what he is. And they go, oh, well, they said that the coach doesn't really like you. John Gruden's never said, ever since he's been there, he didn't like Carr. He never said that. So that was one of those things where people just automatically assume John didn't like Carr, so therefore Carr wasn't any good. So that narrative kept going. So no matter what he would do, he was always behind the 8 ball, Jay.
Spend your mornings with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor. Mornings from 5 to 8 here on The Zone.
Thought the game, we got